Welcome to my channel, KC, that's me, Carry Chug, the Sledge storyteller, here to talk about the wonderful world of storytelling and open up discussion about how we can tell the best stories we can through movies, through learning how well movies are made, things they do right, things they do wrong. So, 2008's Incredible Hulk. It's kind of become the mostly forgotten movie of the MCU. I think it deserves a little more love than it gets, but I mean, I've emphasized before that I love the whole power of super strength when it's used. So yeah, a bit of a complicated history here leading up to the movie coming out. You know, the 2003 movie Hulk didn't quite connect with audiences that much, though I admit I like it more than most. And, you know, as I review this, I'm going to talk about some factors that I thought that the previous Hulk did better, but that can wait. Let's go to the main big cool details. So, like so many other superhero efforts, it's not just the actor, but it's the special effects crew who make this superhero work. And, you know, Ed Norton does a fabulous job in his acting as Bruce Banner. You get the whole mild-mannered thing. You know, he's genuinely concerned for the safety of others, hoping that nobody gets hurt and all the right decisions are made, for the best result. And you know, the way they play out the Hulk. I mean, the way they designed him. I kind of thought that the Hulk's skin was a little too leathery, you know, not to the point where it was a deal breaker. I still liked how massive he was and how powerful they made him look and act. So, you know, I love that they got Lou Ferrigno, the original live action Hulk, to be the voice to do the growling, and it was. We even saw some heart in the Hulk. I just how much of the mocap they did with Ed Norton. I don't know how much he was involved with this, but the mocap worked and the emotions worked, and you know the Hulk said the right things at the right time when it came to, you know, his, I guess, the big fight against Abomination at the end, and we'll talk a little bit more about him as we go. And I guess if I have a little quibble there, it's that at times it seems like the whole heart rate was a little inconsistent. At times it seems like what he was doing there probably should have increased the heart rate and should have been a factor there. But, you know, that's a minor quibble. I love the Hulk's action. I loved Bruce Banner as a character. Very layered. Very well done. I have to admit that when it comes to the comics, I'm not that sharp on the Hulk. I maybe have read about a dozen or so Hulk comics. So, you know, most of my experience with the Hulk has been in motion. So, you know, the Incredible Hulk TV series with Lou Ferrigno, both the early 80s Hulk cartoon and the late 90s Hulk cartoon, as well as this movie and the Avengers, you know, MCU there, and the first Hulk movie. So, comics, I had to basically get a secondhand understanding of who Abomination was, what he was all about, from Wizard magazine. And one thing that worried me about knowing that he would be the villain, I mean, I read that he has more raw power than the Hulk and still retains his intellect, which, you know, the Hulk generally, as a rule, he has kind of a clouded mind when he is transformed into that. So, you know, that of itself is not a problem. It's just I hate it when that's done in a way that goes along with my number one pet peeve. You can see in my 6 pet peeves videos, hesitant villains, or the type of villains that hold back, toy with the hero. So thankfully, I really didn't have that problem. I didn't feel this problem with the movie. Yeah, Tim Roth, excellent actor. You get the sense of his megalomania, and he was like an atomic bomb about to go off, and General Ross is willing to risk it using this guy because of his tactical skills, what he can do, and ultimately he sees him as somebody he can use as a weapon, and comes to regret that. More on Thunderbolt Ross later. But, I liked how well he was designed, and, a very convincing threat. But, for all his power, his greater strength than the Hulk, greater size, things were played up in a convincing fashion where the Hulk, he ultimately manages to out-strategize the Abomination, knows how to reach for the right thing, make the right moves at the right time. So kudos to those who made the movie, that they made that work. And again, you get the sense of megalomania with Emil Blonsky, who is the guy who turns into Abomination. Can't say enough about Tim Roth in his talent as an actor. He made this work. Great villain. Well played. So I do love what they've done with the supporting cast here. You've got William Hurt, may he rest in peace, recently passed away. He was a good General Thunderbolt Ross. Here's where I kind of feel like it was done better with the previous Hulk movie, played by Sam Elliott. There's a little bit more dimension to him. It didn't feel quite as black hat as William Hurt did. Of course, William Hurt, he wasn't black hat the entire time. He kind of softened toward the end as he had to make those decisions. I guess he regretted making them, and he still felt a little on the stern side at the very end. That nice cameo with Robert Downey Jr. and then Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. She does a good job, and when she has to get angry and has to kick back, she kicks back convincingly. And I mean, the very last one against the cabbie, it kind of felt like I need one more outburst, and she did it. It was a lot. It was kind of funny, and concern. They end up back together. It's interesting. I guess she felt like she had to move on and go with Ty Burrell. He's worth mentioning because I love how level-headed he was, and he kind of felt like, he has to let go. It's hard to know for certain if that's what was really going to happen. But, I think he was a very interesting character for what little we got of him. You've got Tim Blake Nelson, who get the feeling that was supposed to be shown as the leader in a sequel, and Universal didn't see enough profit from this that they felt like they could continue with that. And a couple of fun cameos. Not obviously there's Lou Ferrigno as a security guard, and love that. Stan Lee in his small spot as, I have to joke that he was the first vampire in the MCU, not maybe Morbius in the upcoming movie. And another that most people aren't going to pick up on is Stanley, the pizza restaurant owner. Not only is Stanley a play on Stan Lee, but he was that type of cameo. has a history when it comes to Marvel Productions. He was the voice of Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the cartoon back in the 60s, and in the Marvel cartoons. If you get a look at them, you'll see how poorly animated they were. But this guy was also the voice of Bruce Banner in that Hulk cartoon. He might have been in other things, I'm not sure. And a bit of other trivia in the Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer, Rankin Bass, which I talk about in another video. Save it, watch it during Christmas time. He is the voice of Hermie the elf. Anyway, these all are interesting characters in one degree or another. Again, Thunderbolt Ross was good as the type of Thunderbolt Ross who spares nothing to go after the Hulk. Even though there's a little bit of a insidiousness to it, maybe more so than what I prefer. That's why I like Sam Elliott's a little bit more. But, overall, great, fun, supporting cast. So if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you don't mind a little indulgence of self-promotion here, there's Sledge number 1 and Sledge number 2. A hero story I believe in. So there'll be the link to the Indie Planet website where you can go and purchase it. It'll go right straight to these 2 titles. And as well, one more look at it. But I also want to mention that I'm still working on Sledge number 3. Things have slowed down, because of my artist, Tiago, his situation, which I completely justify. I'm perfectly okay with what he's doing about that, and he is still working on it. But sampling some of the art that has gone into that, hopefully that you find some endearing, and that this is part of a 3-part story. So if you want to understand this, you may want to buy those previous stories. But they're available in both paper format and digital format. Sledge number 1 is also available in both formats through Kindle. But those are your options there. Please give it a look. And here we go. So I guess one minor quibble with the story is, perhaps this is necessary to make it work, that you have to concede some things that don't feel like they have a natural flow, and that's that so many important things are happening all at once. Like that time that Bruce Banner he cuts his finger, which leads to Stan Lee having his incident with that, whatever that was. Some jolt he had, which Thunderbolt Ross gets word of that. At the same time, he meets Emma Blonsky. At the same time, Bruce Banner is getting that invitation where he has to decide to go see Mr. Blue. But all that aside, love the story. Love the emotions involved. Love the stakes. Love the situations where Bruce, he tries to stay on top of it. Sometimes he has no choice. He's forced into it. We get fun action, and we get a great climactic battle at the end. So overall, great story. It's something I wholeheartedly recommend. It that doesn't bring it to the top pinnacle of recommendations, but wholeheartedly. And obviously I couldn't get it on Disney Plus. That's my really only paid subscription for streaming that I have. No Netflix, no Amazon Prime, no Hulu. So I just use my DVD. I'm in the Stone Age. I mean, until I replace my entire library with whatever, I still have my VCR. But, it's still a story I love and recommend. But that's my take. And if you like this video, please click like. If you like this channel, please click subscribe or follow us on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Wish I could say there was a good production crew that made some editing mistakes on my videos over time. Could use an extra set of eyes, but anyway, let's try to be civilized. Let's respect each other. Let's recognize everybody's struggles and everybody's needs, and respect everybody's ambitions. And let's hope things work out, where peace can be realized in Ukraine. And it hurts that people have lost their lives in that. But for now, whoever can see this, whoever can get the message, everyone be safe and God bless.